welcome to Soul Symbols. My name is Shelley. I'm a writer, an astrologer, and a card reader, and I'd like to welcome you to my channel. Happy Thursday and happy Earth Day. Today we're going to do kind of a special video in honor of Earth Day, and if you follow my channel, you know that I do very much care about a lot of environmental causes. I wanted to go ahead and do another special reading. This is going to be a deck collection and reading in one. So the first half of the video, we'll talk about 3 of my Earth Magic decks. And then the second half of the video is going to be a card reading where I pull cards from one of each of the decks and I go ahead and just give you a general reading using our Earth Magic cards. So you're kind of your Earth Magic message of the day. Now, I have 3 decks here that I want to share with you today. The 3 decks are, I have quite a few decks that are very Earth-based, but I've decided to kind of break up the collections into several videos. Today we're going to be specifically talking about the 3 decks that I have that really are Earth-centered, or all of the imagery and all of the keywords talk about Earth-centered or synergistic or kind of Green Man, Gaia, other type of themes. A lot of these decks have themes like, we'll talk about the moon or the sun or the seasons or the solstice. So these decks are very much, they have such a good feeling about them because every single time I pull them out, I do feel very grounded, and it's very natural and kind of a organic kind of energy when I use them. Now, I do have other sets of decks that kind of fall into the same category, but I have 3 decks that are more traveler based, like going on journeys. So that is going to be a separate video that you'll see coming up pretty soon in the beginning of May. And then later on, I do also have animal decks, and I also have flower decks. So each one of those collections will get its own video. But today we're gonna focus, because it's Earth Day, we're gonna focus just on Earth Magic and Earth themed decks that really speak a lot about the organic connection with life and earth and everything like that. So I hope that makes sense. But we have 3 decks here. I'm going to go ahead and jump right in. If you ever want to jump straight to the reading, the timestamps are in the description box, as are the names and the authors of the decks that I use. And the second half of the video is the reading part. So if you want to jump straight to the reading, that's your fast pass. Go ahead and click on the link that says pick a pile. Or deck placeholder descriptions. Now, the first placeholder we have is a little dragonfly, which is really special. And with it, we have a wonderful deck. And honestly, all 3 of these decks are still in print, which is great. But the first deck is called the Earth Magic Oracle, and it is by Stephen D. Farmer. And I love these cards. They are still in print. And what you'll see is you see like an image with like a ribbon with a keyword and then a phrase. So there is a corresponding book that you can read along with the cards. I don't really read the book too much. I really kind of just go with the imagery. But they have just such beautiful earth images. You have like meadow and vulnerability, iceberg, submerged. I get this sometimes when, something's going on beyond the surface, like maybe someone's being cold with you, or you're feeling cold, and there's something, there's something going on below the surface, right? Waterfall, effortless. It's interesting, a lot of gypsy cards and Lenormand cards kind of have some of the same themes. I've seen this kind of in Lenormand. Now, what I love about this deck is that they do have, they have 1 card for each of the seasons. So it has summer solstice, it has autumnal equinox, which was the start of fall, and it talks about release. And this is just a gorgeous image. It has cards like Dreamtime, which really is just gorgeous imagery and talks about creation. Now, this card, just like some of my decks, I have 1 card that I had purchased off Kickstarter, and this was just an artist that had, I had ordered just, to support their art. I had purchased the deck, the card autographed by the author, and it says circle. And I just like the fact that it was the same size. The card is actually the same size as a lot of my angel decks too, but I decided, I thought that it really spoke of my earth decks. Here it has tree grounding, which is the same image that's on the card back. And I really like this card stock. It's very wide and it fits good in the hand. It is laminated, so it holds up really well when shuffling. But ocean, ebb and flow. I love the fact it has cards like DNA and karma. You know, sometimes it talks about like if you really believe in your ancestors kind of speaking to you, or you having a connection through those who have come before you. Rainbow and blessings. I really think of divine timing, wolf, instinct, river, movement. But you can see it has such a good variation. Cave or sanctuary. Sometimes I get this when I have to go in. If you have to go into your girl cave or your man cave, or you need to get away. Maybe sometimes when I need to pull into myself and kind of do my own thing, maybe do some crafting. Dawn, new beginnings. I think that's gorgeous. See, here's another one about ancestors. They have a full moon and a new moon. I think that's really gorgeous. Ceremonies. So you can see it has the 4 seasons. And oh, this is a gorgeous card. It really talks about the moon. Activation. You know, fog. So you can see it has such beautiful natural imageries. This one is great. I really associate this to kind of like a tower moment, but it's like tsunami. It's like a wave of emotion, and it being kind of like a wake-up call. Sometimes when the moon is full, what it is the moon pulls on the tides, and sometimes you really feel it when the moon is full. Island and solitude. But yeah, there's some beautiful ones. And here you see like shaman, ancient healing wisdom. Mountain is very similar to Lenormand because it usually means like challenges. And they even have things like music or harmony. But oh, I love the summer solstice one. That's such a powerful one. And there's our new moon. But you see it has just really gorgeous images. Sometimes I pull this card when I need to go to the lake, like I need to be near water. The spring equinox is so beautiful. This really reminds me of the Queen of Pentacles because in tarot, because she's holding a rabbit, and it's like the harbinger of spring. But there's just really gorgeous imaging, and it talks about like forest and lightning and iceberg and whale. So there's a little crossover, like in Lenormand, clouds mean muddled thinking, but there's such volatility with volcano. But you see there's elements, and I love how it even has Gaia, which is really kind of an empress kind of energy. But it's really beautiful. It covers a lot of themes, like even the stone people and Green Man and crystals. Oh my gosh. For those of us who, I'm starting to learn a lot more about crystals, and actually, this card reminds me so much. I did get a beautiful new amethyst, and I just think it's so gorgeous. I'm learning so much more about like crystal work, and that is connecting to the earth. So this is beautiful. It talks about focus. But it's really gorgeous. It's just a really beautiful deck, and the images really speak to me, and I really just kind of use this deck on its own. I don't even really, I'll pull an extra card. You can read the book, but really, pulling it on its own it's a wonderful addition to a card reading for yourself or for others. And it really does, as you can see, it makes me feel so grounded. I just really, I keep my dragonfly with it all the time, this little stone guy. Now, the second deck, this one was actually a real impulsive buy. I just walked into my local bookstore and it was there. So this is a more current deck, and this is the Angels and Ancestors cards by Kyle Gray. And what I love is similar to the first deck. There's a lot of Native American symbolism, but it has a lot of symbols. But then it touches on a lot of Egyptian and other kind of themes. Like here it has broken arrow, eagle. This is really beautiful. It has elder, and it says, so it has a keyword and then it has a phrase, move beyond ancestral patterns. So similar, you saw before with DNA, and you saw kind of the similar thing. Mountains, see, that seems to be a theme. Now, what I love about this deck is that it has guardians and it has the four elements like earth, air, fire, water, but then it also has other guardians as well. Like here it has a magic guardian, and I think it's so beautiful. The diversity in this deck is really gorgeous. It has hunter, track down your fears and desires. Oops, there's a drop a card. It does have the seasons, so here it has autumn, release the old and the rest. Sun, it has sun and moon. This is what I think is great. It even has things like trader, exchange energy to create abundance. White witch, be the light. Oh, I think that's so beautiful. It's a gorgeous owl. Here it has a shaman in here as well, and this looks so much like the back of the card with the drum and the owl. This is amazing. It says Father Sky, trust in the unknown, and I really see lightning and eagle. It looks very Zeus-like. And here it has stag, which is such, actually, when you look at the swirls in the background, that has a very Celtic or a very Irish kind of background, or Scottish. Here we have High Priestess is gorgeous. Harness mystic power. So here, I think this cat is adorable. She has like a little earring. It's so awesome. But you can see a lot of, it looks a lot like Isis or like a lot of Egyptian imagery. The wise one, I think this is gorgeous. In gypsy cards, they talk about like an old woman, or they call her the crone, but really she's the knowledgeable woman. She's the cornerstone of wisdom. And you have medicine mother, and gosh, look at this imagery, guys. It's such a gorgeous deck. Now, this is neat. They do have two cards in this deck that talk about a little mysticism. Like it has seer, see beyond the current situation. You see how her eyes are kind of covered? I get this card a lot. I think this is beautiful. Again, it's more Native American imagery where it says, peacekeeper, let go of the need to be right. You know what I always think of? If you have a choice between being right or being kind, be kind. And you've got drum the journey. Knight, I really think of the Knights Templar. If you've ever seen that Indiana Jones movie and the Holy Grail, I thought that was great. You know what? I almost want to watch that movie now. Direction Guardian. This is so gorgeous. And you know what? This really reminds me of the World card in Tarot. Because with the World card, you have the four elements. You have the four fixed signs. So you have Leo for the lion. The person is the Aquarius. It's the water bearer. The bull is Taurus. And then the eagle is the higher octave. It's the evolved expression of Scorpion energies. And this is gorgeous. It has shapeshifter. Look at that. Wow. If you've ever read Charlene Harris, if you've ever read like fictional books that talk about either familiars or being able to metamorphosize into an animal that represents you, I think this is great. It says transform and unveil your gifts. Sometimes I get this card if you feel connected to a spirit animal, or you're just seeing an animal a lot more lately. It has stargazer, set your sights higher. Warrior. It's just really beautiful, and it has all the four seasons. Lord. Shield Maiden is great. Make plans with focus. It's almost like, summer is so beautiful. I love honeybees. She-wolf always makes me smile because, it's funny, it's a little bit more of a modern thing, but if you've ever seen a Shakira video, she had a great song called She-Wolf. And it's funny, she created that song like at a time when she was going through a lot of change in her life, and she was really setting herself free, right? And honestly, when in tarot, if you watch my channel, if you watch the How to Tarot on the Moon, it talks a lot about the difference between a wolf and a domesticated dog, like having that instinctual desire within you, and being and honoring that primal side of yourself. And here again, we have different guardians. We have Heart Guardian, and this is so beautiful. You know what's funny? You're seeing a lot of this like heart energy, like in pop culture now. There's a lot of like imagery about like having a strong heart like this, like a flaming heart, where it's love and let yourself be loved. They even have one that's a Mirror Guardian, which is take time to reflect. Here's another oracle card, which is great. Wait for important information. Maybe you need to wait for the facts to come in. And here you have Sage, and look at that. I really do love the diversity in this deck. Medicine Guardian. Mother Earth and Lady, and you saw how we have Lord and we have Lady. Now Mother Earth looks very Gaia to me. It looks like a very Gaian card. And Lady looks very abundant. I do almost think, again, I associate it with almost either a Queen of Pentacles or Empress in the tarot. Great teacher. I think that's so great. Learn from spiritual experiences. There's an animal guardian, so maybe you're a protector of animals. Protection guardian, earth guardian, that's a great one. And then spring. Hermit is beautiful. This really does remind me of like the Hermit in tarot. And then you've got moon and fox, arrow. Fire guardian is really a great one. I love getting this card. I think it's just gorgeous. Traveler, move in a new direction. You know, sometimes when I need to go on a trip and I just kind of need to go someplace, Star Ancestor is really great because there's a lot of folks who believe in being star seeds or being like having a celestial, you know, as we are stardust. I think that's a beautiful card to have in this. And you see Shaolin, I hope I'm saying this right, Shaolin Master, be graceful in movement and action. And I really do get a sense of like yin yang balance here. We've got our air guardian, water guardian, snake. Snake is such a popular one. And here you go. You have a high priestess and you have a high priest. So if you like more of the Egyptian symbolism, I think that is so gorgeous. It's like the two really, if you end up pulling the cards, or even if you purposely pull the cards to put them side by side, look at that imagery, guys. Isn't that just freaking gorgeous? And I know a lot of people really love more Egyptian kind of themes in their cards. And then here you got Druid, hold the space. So you see, this is such a myriad of different cultures and different, and it doesn't stick to just 4 elements or 4 seasons. It really talks about like a bunch of different things. And then it's such a gorgeous deck. It's really, really pretty. Now, last but not least, we have the Gaia Oracle. And again, we have more of that flaming heart. I feel like, gosh, that's such a theme, guys. I'm seeing this emblem a whole lot. Not to sound funny, there was an episode of The X-Files, and oh my gosh, it's probably one of my favorite Scully episodes ever, that talked about the flaming heart. Wow. I'm getting a strong, you know what, something's telling me, I have all of the X-Files on DVD. Don't judge me. I'm an analog, I'm an archivist. So I might have to pull that out because I feel like the universe is pointing to that. But anyway, what this is a bigger deck, and this is the Gaia Oracle. And the images in this are really, really earth friendly. Now, this deck is by a creator called Toni, Toni, Carmine Solerno. And Toni is a man. He's a guy. I know Toni, sometimes Toni could be a lady. But one thing I'll caution about is that all of my videos are made for 18 or over. But one thing that in this deck in particular, there's some images of women, and there are some naked bits. And not just from the waist up naked bits, it's from the waist down. You don't see anything too scandalous. It's almost like the artwork is really beautiful. It's almost like oil chalk kind of paintings. But I will just say, as we do the flip through, you are going to see some naked bits. I normally, when I post, I posted a few of these pictures over on Instagram, and what I do is I cover it with little happy emojis because it's PG-13 over there, or I try to keep it that way. But it's a gorgeous deck. It's a really bigger deck. It does have numbers at the top. It has keywords, and then it has a phrase. The book is really, really gorgeous, and actually here I'll grab it real quick. The book has a mantra. It has an explanation. It has a 3-paragraph explanation of the card, and then it has an affirmation, which is almost like a haiku. And it's a good book. I keep the book with the cards. I do end up reading the book a lot more when I'm pulling the cards for myself. But the artwork is just really gorgeous. It is a bigger deck. It fits in the hand well, but it's a little bit bigger than a 4x6 picture. It has a good border on it. But you have pictures like Tree of Life, Moonlight Goddess, a hidden gift, a sadness, an ending, a new beginning. Evolution, I've been getting this card a lot. I've been getting a lot of cards that show a lot of sunspots and like a progression, like almost like a graduation. This is beautiful, and again, Nakey Bits. We warned you about that one. The Dream, something is revealed, insight, breakthrough. Eternal Dance, I think that's so beautiful. Movement, Wheel of Life, Path of Least Resistance. It's almost like go with the flow, like go dance with where the energies are taking you. Yin and Yang, Harmony. This is another really gorgeous one. Intuitive Communication. This one is one of my favorite cards, and honestly, the lighting does not do it justice. This is, of course, a very, very India or Eastern energy, and this is so gorgeous. You see an image of Ganesha, clearing any obstacles, protection, and guidance. This is a really gorgeous card, and actually the description in the book is really beautiful too. Apprehension, I love the expression on this. It's almost like being afraid to go out in the world, moving out into the world, doubt and fear. Winter's End, this is a really gorgeous card, and again, they're like oil crayon kind of artwork. Enchanted Forest, Remembrance, this is almost like being pulled in by the weeds of past memories, in that sense, like, you know, nostalgia that's holding you kind of down. Liberation, there's a lot of doves in this too. Eternal Love. Zen Garden's another really beautiful one. Inner Sanctuary. He has one that's Amethyst, Sacred Mother, and again, more of that glowing heart energy. Temptress, this is interesting, guys. Look at that. The Temptress has a flaming heart. And this is seduction, deceit, a broken promise. So again, you know, maybe you have someone close to you that might not be being honest. Now here's a real Nakey Bits one, but Purification by Water. This one's a real gorgeous one. Perception, and look at that. What a beautiful, and that almost looks like a throat chakra kind of. And here's another really beautiful dove one. The Message, Hidden Path, and you see more of that kind of Egyptian energy. Ocean of Eternal Love. There is a Gaia one that's really beautiful. Flame Tree, which talks about the start of something new. Thinking of You. Lost Love, this one's very bittersweet. It's almost kind of melancholy. Achievement, Reflection. So you see, this is just a really gorgeous deck, you know. Sacred Heart, this is actually the card that's the image that's on the front of the card, and it's Passion, Love, Spiritual Communion. That doesn't say communication, it says communion. Moonlight, that's a real beautiful one, because it almost looks like you're looking out on the lake at night. Peace. Sacred Journey is really beautiful because it talks about life cycles and family. Attachment. Loss. So you can see healing. There's so many beautiful ones. I've been pulling this one a lot. Goddess of Creation, Transformation, Creativity, Wholeness. It's so beautiful. And Night Wind. So you see, there's a lot of nature energy, and here we have purification by fire. So we have purification by water and purification by fire. And then you've got the Search, and you've got Rising Above. So again, you have he has quite a lot of tree imagery. He has a lot of like sunspot imagery, a lot of feminine kind of imagery, and I love the images in this deck. I think the size is just really beautiful. It's like a, you know, when I'm pulling cards for myself or for readings, I just really get such a strong connection to it. And so these are the 3 decks that I use when I want kind of that earth magic, or that earth connection, or that spiritual organic kind of feeling, that natural magic that you feel with your connection with the earth. So I definitely wanted to go through and talk about these and present these decks to you as a separate reading. All right, so now that we've introduced the decks, and again, if you're interested in any of these cards, all of them are for sale. They're still in publication, and the names and the authors are in the description box. You can find it on Amazon. You can find it pretty much just anywhere. But we're going to go ahead and we're going to do a quick card spread. We're going to pull cards from each of the different decks, and just see what's your energy for Earth Day. You know, I always believe Earth Day is every day. I've been doing what I do to celebrate Earth Day is every year I give myself goals. I give myself goals to reduce my carbon footprint, and I have been really good. Last year, I actually have a separate channel called Ego Girl in a Modern World. And I've really committed on that channel to making a lot of good changes, and I've been really, really good. I've changed over a lot of what I use for healthcare, like what I use to wash my hair, what I use to brush my teeth, how I floss my teeth. Getting away from anything that is single-use plastic. I've been very good about that. And if you ever want to follow some of my journey with that, please check out my other channel. It's Eco Girl in a Modern World. And I will be, but this year my commitment was really to go towards more organic fabrics in both my bedding and what I wear on my body. And I not only feel really much better, but I'm learning so much about that. So I am going to be posting some additional videos over on that other channel that talk about that. But yes, my new goals for 2021 is to really to look at the fabrics that touch us. And I know it's such a it goes in phases, because you can't completely change everything overnight, but all these little tiny things that you do make a big difference. So I do believe that Earth Day is every day, but today being the day itself, being Earth Day, if you know, do whatever you can to make those little changes that decrease your carbon footprint. You know, do your best, do whatever you can, because every little bit helps. Every little bit helps. It really does. And it's all habit, right? It's all habit. Once we change our habits, we can change the world for sure. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to introduce the placeholders here. The first placeholder we have is very special to me. This is a little Lapis Lazuli Dragonfly. And I do always keep this with this deck, but the Dragonfly, what it is that a Dragonfly is born in water and then it takes to air. And I have my entire astrological chart is all air and water. So the Dragonfly has always been a very powerful symbol for myself. But then later my family began associating it to my late father. So that's another really powerful association. So I always keep the Dragonfly with this deck, but that's the first placeholder. The first placeholder is the Dragonfly. The second placeholder we have is very lucky. This one's a wonderful one. This is a Quartz owl. And this was actually given to me by my coworker, and she was so sweet. At least I'm pretty sure he's Quartz, I think. It was a gift. And what it is this is Lefty the luck owl. And I call him Lefty because he has a left foot. His right foot is broken, but he's a lucky owl, and he's a very wise piece. So the second placeholder is Lefty the luck owl. Now the third one, we went ahead and just went with a beautiful citrine stone. And this is really beautiful. It's tiny, but it's very polished. And citrine talks about natural abundance. It can talk about wealth, but it means like wealth in that sense where you have more than enough. Like it's just abundance, right? It's such a powerful stone. And I think the colors just go so beautifully with that deck. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and pause. I'm going to freeze frame the video, and we'll go ahead and let you choose a pile. So there's going to be 3 piles. I'm going to pull cards from each of these decks. You go ahead and pick a placeholder, either the Dragonfly, the Owl, or the Citrine, and we're going to go ahead and see. We'll pull cards from each of these decks and see what is your energy for Earth Day. So what's your Earth Day energy? But if you need, please choose from your intuition, choose from that, from your jellies, whatever pile you were drawn to. If you like the placeholder, if you like the way that the pile looks. If you need more time, please pause the video, and I'll see you in a minute. Okay, we're back. I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to move these other piles over. And let's go ahead, and this is going to be very quick. So we're just going to go through and see what is your energy for Earth Day. What is your Earth-centered energy? So pile number 1, we have the Lapis Lazuli Dragonfly. Let's go ahead and see, what are your cards? You got Moonlight, Sacred Heart, Spring, and Eagle Communion. Oh, wow, guys. Yeah, honestly, if you're in North America, I'm seeing a real, I'm seeing a synchronicity between like the blue-gray colors. There's like slate blue, and then there's kind of a purple blue there with the flowers and the rabbit. If you are in North America, and honestly, this is your stone is very blue as well. I think you have a very calming effect. There's a lot of blue here. I think you have a real calming effect. Also, this kind of looks like the moon in both these cards. I think you have a real connection to nature. I think you have a water connection to nature. The other thing is that it could be a scorpionic, because the eagle is the representation, like an evolved Scorpio is represented by the eagle. They're able to see above, like they can see the higher. What I'm really getting is that you might walk in nature either near water, near oceans, or near lakes. I also think that you have a strong sense of connection to the moon. So I do think that you have some kind of water either in your chart, like Pisces, Scorpio, or Cancer, where you feel like a communion with nature. And here you go, travel, romance, and potential. You see how this like I really get a sense that this is your earth energy, is that if you are in North America, like we're in springtime right now, I think you're in a strong period of time where you can, like, you have a strong, right now, the veil, you have a strong connection to the to nature right now. And I do get the sense that you either go outside at night where you can see the moon, and it's almost like you feel that energy at night. The other thing is, it says see your seeds grow. So I think right now is especially with the rabbit. I do think that you see a great abundance right now. Like things are progressing quickly for you, and it is a time of it's a time of planting seeds based on your connection with nature. Like you understand, it's almost like you feel like a tie to nature, where you know when to submit. You know when to plant seeds to see them grow, right? And you feel that connection again. Like I think you have a strong understanding with nature. Like maybe you garden, or but here I really get the strong sense that you're this is a full moon, so it means things are coming to culmination. The other thing is that, see your seeds grow. I think the universe, you're at a phase in your life when a lot of abundance is coming your way. The other thing that we've got the number 12, and then we've got the number 36, which is like 3 times 12. So I do see, like I'm seeing like a great trine, right? I'm feeling like a trine of water. But with it being springtime, I do feel like you have a very strong natural connection to nature. I think you feel it through the tides. I think you feel it because the other thing is the moon controls the tide. When the moon is full, it has its strongest pull on the force of water. And I think you feel it, and you're in communion with it. Like you feel that pulse, and you go with the flow of things. I do think that right now in the springtime, any travel that you do is going to be most beneficial. I think it's going to open you up to both romance and potential. So again, maybe the other thing is with the rabbit, I'm just going to kind of say it. It's possible that this might be a time of romance in a procreative sense. So yes, again, if you have a chance to, Scorpio energy, a rabbit, and moonlight and romance and travel, you might be getting away, and it might be the start of a very productive, if you're trying to start a family, you are in step with nature. But I do get the strong sense that you're very connected. It's something about the tides, and there's a culmination here. It's like you're at the apex of a cycle or a phase. And what's beautiful is it says sacred heart, passion, love, and spiritual communion. Is that communion? Holy Toledo, guys, look at that. Wow, you've got a synchronicity. Communion, spiritual communion, and communion. That's the same word. Wow. Oh my gosh. Yeah, you are in tune. You see, and you see the red of these two cards. You're in touch. I think, you know, nature is in tune with you and you are in tune with nature. And I know this sounds very woo-woo, but and again, even your placeholder, you take dragonflies are born of water and they take to air. So I do think that you're in a very fertile time. It could be fertile in a physical sense, but I also get the sense that the connection between you and nature is very, very strong. I think that if you have any goals in life, you know, it's like it's almost like you're right on track. You're going to leap right ahead, and it's almost like your understanding of the way that nature works is really going to work for you. And you see things from such you're not blind. It's almost like you see things through the eyes of the universe, and it's like that connection with nature. But I definitely get a sense that you either walk at night where you can see the moon, or you have like a lake near you, or water, or you feel at peace near water. The other thing I get is that it's quite possible that you might be planning a trip away that's like just some private time with you and someone else that's near water. And again, it's like it strengthens you by being close to nature, because you understand the cycles of everything. So wow, guys, oh my gosh, that was really beautiful. That's a gorgeous read there. All right, so placeholder number 2, we got Lefty the Lookout. And let's go ahead and see, what are your cards? You got Yin Yang, Earth Guardian, and then this deck got 2 of the Earth Magic cards. All of the decks got 4 cards, but it's funny, each pile got 2 of a different deck. So, wow, guys. Oh, this is really beautiful. Wow, you got Earth Guardian. That's really great. So, first off, you got Yin Yang, which talks about balance, and you have the monarch butterfly there, creating harmony through balance. And you got the number 40, and fours, 0 is kind of like 40 really talks about it's like an amplified 4. And 4 is about stability. It's about like, and again, in nature there are 4 elements, you know, earth, air, fire, water. And here you've got Earth Guardian, stay rooted and grounded. And then what's beautiful is that you have 2 cards, Winter Solstice, which talks about reflection, and then you've got activation. And what is striking me is that with this wind, it almost looks like, you know how they always talk about Jack Frost blowing cold air at you? And you see how yin and yang almost looks like the two, like the balance of these 2 things. I think you're turning to nature right now. I think you do have a strong connection to nature, but it's almost like sometimes you feel a little out of balance. I think right now you are trying, I think you have a lot of change going on in your life right now. And it's telling you that if you go on walks or if you go out in nature, it might help you balance some of this energy, because it's almost like it's like you're trying to reflect and you're trying to stay rooted, but you have a lot of change going on around you. So it's hard for you to stay balanced when you've got a lot of activity going on around you. But it is telling you that, you know, try to stay rooted and grounded. That's a meditation principle that we talk a lot about. A lot of card readers talk about that too, about, sometimes when you've got a lot of change going on in your life, it's hard to stay grounded. But one beautiful thing about earth magic is that if you go for a walk, if you take deep breaths, if you do some walking meditation, or if you sit underneath a tree, if you meditate out on the grass and, it's like while you're sitting there, if you pretend like you're growing roots into the ground, all of those things help you kind of bring a little bit of balance. I do also think that it's telling you to not only get out into nature, but it's also telling you to kind of quiet your mind and listen to nature, or to try to sit and breathe in nature. I think it really is telling you that you do need to reflect, but it's probably best that you don't do that inside. It's really kind of telling you that you need to get out, because the other thing you see is you see trees in both of these images, but one of them is frozen and the other one's a lot more green. And again, if you're in North America, we're in spring right now. So again, I think with all this red here, I think you've got some major change going on, and it's almost like you have to kind of breathe your way through it. But I do think the other thing I get is that you see with this wisdom, you see this person with their eyes closed, it's like, I think you can glean wisdom, you can gain wisdom by going out in nature and kind of breathing, get some fresh air, get some, and just, I do think there's a benefit from actually going outside a little bit. I think it's kind of, what I'm seeing is it's kind of a tough balance for you right now, because you're really torn. There's a peace and there's a solace from being like staying still and reflecting, but then it's almost like you're in the middle of a windstorm, right? And it's like, in order for you to get rooted, you have to stand still, even though you have all this chaos around you. And I do think that it's kind of telling you, the best way for, yes, you're in this eye of the storm. There's no getting away from all of the activity around you. But if you go out for a walk, that might give you that 20 minutes of peace where, looking at butterflies or breathing fresh air or sitting under a tree, just even if that's in your own backyard, it'll give you a lot of wisdom, and it'll give you that 10 minutes of meditation time that you need. And then when you go back in, you'll feel rejuvenated. All of the whirlwind will still be there when you go back. But those little breaks, those little connections to nature will go a long way to helping you feel grounded, and it'll help bring a little bit of balance and clarity, which, with the owl, that means a lot. But wow, guys, yeah, I see that you have a lot going on. You might have like a busy work or home life going on there, guys. Pile 2. All right, so pile 3, we got the beautiful Citrine. Go ahead and see, you've got a jewel within a teardrop, you got the fox spirit, protection guardian, and fairies, earth magic. Look at that even says earth magic. That's so powerful, guys. So first off, the citrine stone really talks about, it not only talks about material abundance, but it also talks about just natural abundance, just things coming to you naturally. You don't have to strive or worry about, abundance. It comes to you naturally. And here we've got the number 10, which means the culmination of a cycle. It means the end of a cycle. And here it says jewel within teardrop. Appreciation, spiritual and emotional reconnection. So let me go ahead. I am gonna pull the book for this one just real quick, because this story let's go ahead and just read it real quick. Here we go. You will soon experience a strong spiritual and emotional bond with another person, a family member, an animal, or a pet. During this time, you will also reconnect with your innermost feelings and true nature, which have been suppressed or ignored of late. This is a deeply emotional time where tears of sadness transform into tears of joy. Your appreciation of life, love, and friendships will strengthen as you give thanks for the many blessings in your life. Love is truly all around you. Embrace it, cherish it, and honor it. You and those you love unite through a common bond, and the love you feel for one another grows stronger and more profound. This is a special and magical time. Be sure to savor each and every moment. Love is all that really matters. So, wow, guys. So, again, you're about to connect to someone. And this is really beautiful. Again, all of the piles got 4 cards, but you got 2 of the angels and ancestors deck. And the 2 cards you got Spirit Fox, trust your talents in changing times. And you got Protection Guardian, which is drop your shields. You know what this really tells me? This combination is that, and even the coloring, you see kind of, oops, as I drop it, you see how there's a lot of red and gold. You see how she almost kind of looks like the fox. Look at the eyes there, guys. What it really tells me is that maybe you've been really used to kind of surviving, like you're very independent, like it's almost telling you that it's safe for you to connect to other people, right? It's safe for you to connect to other people. You're protected. I know that you might have been through experiences where you really, needed to kind of look after number one, but it's kind of telling you that, you're going to have connections with other people who are of your tribe, right? That are of your ilk, right? And it's okay for you to drop your shields, right? It's okay for you to drop your shields. The other thing about the fox is that foxes do mate for life. It's just they take a long time. They're usually known for being very cunning because they look after their needs first. But here it's really telling you that appreciation, spiritual and emotional reconnection. So, maybe this is reconnecting to either a family member, or this could be reconnection to someone who acts in a little bit of a fox way, like someone who's very independent, who doesn't really need doesn't seem like they need help, or really doesn't easily connect with other people. But I do almost get especially with the eyes, I almost get like this is your energy where it's almost like you're learning how to be in a partnership with someone. And here we've got the fairies, which is earth magic. I do almost get like I feel like the earth energy of this is that there's it's so funny. We always say, I always say we're a part of nature. We're not apart from nature. We're a part of nature. And it's a very natural thing to work in groups, right? It's a natural thing to work in partnerships and symbiotic relationships, where you bring your talents to a person, and they bring you bring love and connection to someone, and they bring love and connection to you. The other thing that I kind of get is that I do get the sense like while there's kind of a natural independence to things, the natural order of life is that you work together, right? Everything is a web, right? Everything is a web. But what I'm really getting here is that I do get a sense that something has been working behind the scenes to really help you, right? I do think that I think that that nature and everything like that is, either that or that it is natural for you to, work or collaborate with others. And that doesn't mean that you have to sacrifice your independence either, it just means that, you can. The other thing that I kind of get is that maybe you've experienced in the past, maybe you've experienced some unfair treatment, or, you just feel like there's adversity where you have to, you have to kind of go it alone, or you have to look after number one. And here it is kind of just telling you, because what I get from this combination is it's almost like it's an instinctive, your natural personality, or your natural instinct is that, you know, if I'm not going to be treated fairly, I'm better off going it alone, right? I'm going to take care of me. And if I see anything that's unfair, I'm not going to tolerate that, which is great. That's exactly how it needs to be. But here it really does tell you that in the near future, you're going to connect very organically with someone else. And that connection is like, it's a natural connection. You know, foxes do mate for life. They just, what they do is they find another of their same kin. You know, you will, what it is kind of telling you is that you will find someone who is like you, right? And you don't have to remain independent forever. The other thing I kind of get is that this could be, you know, this could be a family connection, or this could be a love connection. But you know, when I think of fairies, I think of I do think of meeting others, or having connections with others who are like-minded like you. Like, if you care about fair treatment for animals, if you care about fair treatment for the earth, if you care about, you know, if you have it, the other thing is, if you're single because you have certain beliefs, like maybe you're vegan, or maybe, you know, you believe in you know, certain things, and you think, okay, I'm never going to find anybody who likes the, you know, the crazy, you know, has the same crazy beliefs. You are going to connect with other people, and it is almost like, again, it's almost like the universe, or the earth, you know, the fairies and the protection guardians are saying, okay, we're going to introduce you to others who are of your same spirit. You know, and, you know, you trust your talents in changing times. The other thing I kind of get is that in the last couple of years, it's been a very big change. You know, if you're watching this at the time the video posts, there's been pandemics, there's been a lot of questions about environmental issues, how we go forward, how we be sustainable, how we do things the right way moving forward. And if you've always been real shrewd about that in the past, it's almost like it's telling you, okay, we're going to introduce you to your tribe. There are other people out there who have the same heart that you do, and we're going to introduce you to them. And it is okay. You don't have to go it alone. You have support. And again, I get the feeling like it's almost like the fairies. You know how the fairies kind of fairy magic, I'm still learning a lot about, but there's such a beautiful lore to that. You know, it's almost like it is almost like the universe. It's almost like the earth saying, okay, we've got you again, you've got support, and they're out there, and let me go ahead and introduce you to them, right? So I feel like this is a beautiful coming together, and you see how a lot of the same coloring is here. You've got a lot of beautiful blues and greens and oranges and creams here. It's almost like, you know, these are coming together. And but what I get here with the fairies is, and especially with the citrine and things like that, I just feel like it's just like nature brings together supportive elements. You know, there are webs that support one another. There are food chains. I feel like this is like the fairies bringing you together. It's like it's a natural kind of magical connection that's you know, organic. It's, you know, you have the goals that you have the purpose that you have. And I'm telling you guys, the eyes in this are really speaking to me. I feel like you and the fox, look at those eyes. Tell me they don't look the same. It's like amazing. And you know, I do. I feel like you have, the other thing I kind of get is that you have a lot of natural, first off, I feel like you have a lot of natural, healthy skepticism about you, where, you know, when you go to do something, you want it to be for the right reasons. And again, I just, with the fairies and the protection guardian, I feel like that your earth energy of the day is that you are not, you can work alone. You are an independent soul, but there's a bigger web. It's like you know how the fairies, they understand all of nature. They're like the undercurrent that connects all of the nature together. They communicate between the trees and the flowers and the animals and it's like, I do feel like there's your talents are being brought into a larger group, and the fairies understand. And I know this sounds crazy, it's almost like the universe understands the talents that you can bring to the greater order of things, and they want to bring you in. They want to bring you in, and they're just kind of telling you that you've probably felt isolated, or you felt like you're on your own for a long time, and they're telling you, we're going to bring you into the bigger picture because we need your talents. Your talents can contribute, be a great asset to what's going on. But just know that it's okay to drop your shields, right? Don't be defensive. We're gonna introduce you to your tribe, and we're gonna bring you into the web of greater purpose. That's really gorgeous, guys. I resonate so much with this, because the other thing that I kind of get from this is that when, I mentioned in the intro, I care a lot of environmental issues, and you sound like you're crazy when you talk about stuff like this. It's like a lot of things that are mainstream are not always the best way that we should be going about things, but when you start talking about the cons of what's going on, and you start saying, okay, well, why aren't we doing things this way? Why do we have to do things? You do seem like the lone wolf, right? You seem like the person that's kind of off in left field. And you don't feel like you're part of the mainstream. You feel like you're this, that you're this odd man out, or the lone wolf, or the fox that's just out there with your own independent ideas. And this is beautiful energy, because it's really telling you that the other thing I get is that it's telling you that there's a lot of abundance to be had in a group. And you don't have to, the other thing is, you don't have to sacrifice any of your individuality. Your individuality will be a contribution, but you will still be, have all of those unique attributes to your personality. You're just going to be bringing your talents to the game, right? So, wow, guys. I really resonate with that pile. That is so amazing. That's really good. The other thing I get is that there will be a lot of abundance with it too. Like you'll be provided for. You're not like just sacrificing for no good end. You'll be supported, and you'll be supporting others. So wow, guys. Oh my gosh, that was powerful. But I thank you so much for joining me. As you can see, I get such wonderful messages from these decks. These are my earth magic decks. They're my, they talk about a lot of, organic and nature and earth themed kind of spiritual kind of concepts. So I do get a lot out of them when I pull them, both for myself and in reads. Again, if you like any of the decks that you saw today, the names and the authors are in the description box below. And I hope that you have a wonderful Earth Day. Definitely no guilt. Try to spend some time out in nature. Maybe spend a day doing low carbon footprint impact things today. Do things that, maybe make the change, or do the things that are positive for the environment, positive for your Earth, for our home. And I will be back on Saturday with the weekly energy card reading. And I hope to catch you in the next video. Bye.